Hey everybody, it's Tom, WA2IVD. I got an email recently from somebody who was asking about using one of my MiniBar kits in an application between an aircraft generator and a lithium-ion battery. This was for a home-built aircraft. And by the way, the MiniBars are still out of stock. I'm sorry about that, but that's a whole separate discussion. Anyway, in this email, he wanted to know if there was a way that it could be modified to work, and the key reason he wanted to modify it was because his system was like 45 or 50 amps, and the MiniBar is only rated for 30 amps, and he wondered if anything could be done. So I drew a little schematic just to kind of orient myself as I was trying to figure this out. And as I was looking at the schematic, it occurred to me there's a real problem when you're using a crowbar circuit with a power supply and a battery, depending on how you've got things set up. And this applies in a lot of ham radio setups, so I wanted to make you aware and just make sure that you all know that you need to put some extra protection in if you're doing something like this. Let's take a look. All right, let's look at a typical setup with a power supply and a crowbar circuit, and then that's connected to your load, which is your radios, accessories, whatever. Another fairly typical part of this setup that I have seen at a number of stations is people will have a backup battery connected in parallel with the power supply output. The backup battery might be a lead-acid battery, might be a whole bank of lead-acid batteries, maybe lithium-ion batteries, but they're connected directly in parallel with the power supply output. And that works fine because a 13.8 volt power supply is the right voltage for trickle charging a standard lead-acid battery. And some lithium-ion batteries are actually designed to be charged with an automotive charging system, so it's okay for them as well. And even if you have an AGM or a lithium battery system that requires a slightly different, maybe a little bit higher charging voltage, as long as you have an adjustable power supply, you can adjust it up or down as you need to charge the batteries. Under normal circumstances, this is going to work fine, but there is a problem with this setup. Now, to understand that problem, let's go back and review how a crowbar circuit works. This is a typical crowbar circuit, and the crowbar could be either external or it might be internal within the power supply. And just a quick example here, this is part of a schematic from an Astron power supply, and you can see here this part outlined in red is the crowbar circuit, and this is the voltage sensing part of the circuit down here. And then up here you see the SCR, and it's connected to the voltage sensing circuit. And then it is connected directly across the two output leads, the plus and minus output leads here. So the crowbar is connected right across the output. And there is a fuse inside the power supply. It's on the other side of the schematic, so you can't see it in this example, but there is a fuse inside the power supply that's going to blow if the crowbar circuit is activated. All right, let's go back to how a crowbar circuit works. So we've got the voltage sense, and I'm not going to go through the details of that circuit, but it is connected to the plus and minus outputs, and it's going to look for a voltage above some preset limit, 15 or 16 volts, somewhere in that range. And then we have our SCR. That's a silicon-controlled rectifier. You may also see these referred to as a thyristor. We have an anode, and that's connected to the positive output lead. And we have a cathode, and that's connected to the negative output lead. And then we have this terminal called a gate. And the way an SCR works, if you apply just a little bit of current to this gate, it's going to turn on the SCR like a switch and basically connect these two sides together. So you get essentially a short circuit. And one of the things about an SCR is that it can supply a lot of current into a short circuit, and it basically is going to act like I've dropped a crowbar directly across the output terminals, thus the name of this circuit, and it's going to short them out. Now, once it turns on, an SCR is going to stay on until the current stops flowing through here. Taking the gate away once you've turned it on doesn't do anything. This thing just stays on, basically like a hard over switch. The way that we take the current away is this fuse on the input side needs to blow open. And then once that blows open, the current stops, and then this will turn off and be ready for the next time. Of course, you've got to replace the fuse. Or if you have a circuit breaker, you reset the circuit breaker. So that's how a crowbar works. Now, let's go back to our circuit where we've got, I should say our setup, where we have our crowbar and our power supply, and then our radio and backup battery. In this setup, if our crowbar activates, because our power supply, goes nuts and the voltage goes out of whack, it's going to put the crowbar across, it's going to blow this input fuse, but there's a problem. Because I have the backup battery in parallel, then once this thing turns on, the backup battery is going to supply current through these leads, because the crowbar doesn't really care which side the current's coming from. This is essentially a wire that's going straight through here. It's now going to have current still flowing, so this is not going to turn off. And current is going to continue to flow in this circuit until something opens up, either because the SCR burns up and opens up, something in the wiring burns up and opens up, or something inside your backup battery system burns up and opens up. That's not going to be a good thing. And the worst part about this circuit, or I keep saying circuit, I'm sorry, this arrangement, is under normal circumstances, this is going to look fine, it's going to work fine. As long as this crowbar never trips, this is going to work perfectly fine and seem like everything is good. And again, just a reminder, it doesn't matter if this is an external crowbar circuit or if it's inside the power supply, that same problem is going to happen. So in order to fix this, if you're going to have a backup battery connected to your radio system and directly in parallel with your power supply, you need to make sure you've got some kind of circuit protection, either a fuse or a circuit breaker on the output of this battery. So if this crowbar ever trips, it's going to have to blow both of these. And you're going to have to make sure that the fuses are sized right and your crowbar circuit is sized right to be able to blow both fuses. Now, they might not blow at the same time, might blow one and then the other, but as long as that SCR is large enough, it should blow both of them. And as long as the battery and the power supply can supply enough current to blow them, it should blow both of them. So that's the key thing to remember here. Now, there is another arrangement that you could do, and that is if you use something like a power gate. This thing comes from West Mountain Radio. I'll have a link to this in the description if you're interested. There's no affiliate link, or I don't have any affiliation with this. But this is an isolator that has a battery input. It has an output that goes to your radios, and it has a power supply input. And this one also has a solar panel input, so you can charge your battery from a solar panel if your power supply fails, or even while the power supply is on. This has circuitry inside that isolates the battery from the power supply, and actually it charges the battery with a separate internal charging circuit that limits the current and limits the voltage, regardless of what the solar panel and the power supply are doing. And there are other isolators like this on the market. This is one I just happen to be familiar with. So this is another option. And honestly, anytime you have a battery connected into your system or any power source at all, you should really have a fuse or circuit breaker on every item that's providing power. The power supply, the battery, a solar panel, everything should have some circuit protection to make sure that if a short circuit happens, the wiring is protected. And if an overcurrent happens, your equipment is protected. That's the key issue with this arrangement that I wanted to make sure I made you all aware of. Well, that's all I've got for this time. Oh, one other point that I want to make sure that everybody understands. In the illustration I showed, I was showing the battery on the kind of on the load side of the Crowbar circuit next to the radio and loads. And you may be thinking, well, but what if I have the battery on the power supply side of the circuit? It actually doesn't matter where you draw it and which side of the crowbar it's on. The key thing is wherever you have the battery, if you have a power supply and a battery, there's got to be a fuse or circuit breaker between the battery and the crowbar circuit, in addition to a fuse or circuit breaker between the power supply and the crowbar circuit. That's the key point here. Anyway, I hope some of you found this useful. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Tom, WA2IVD, and this is Ham Radio A to Z.